Mystery exploration. Darkness. History. Darkest side.
Did Lucifer have a just cause? Insights from forbidden texts. Imagine a being of pure light, the highest of all angels. Beautiful, radiant, intelligent beyond comprehension. A being who once stood at the very throne of God himself. And yet this same being would fall from grace, be cursed for eternity, and become the most feared name in all of human history, Lucifer. But here's the real question for you: was his rebellion an act of pure evil, or could there have been a deeper reason, a cause he believed was just? As you listen, I want you to keep asking yourself, if you were in his place, would you have done the same? Most of us were taught the traditional version of the story. According to the Bible, particularly Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Revelation, Lucifer, whose name means a light bearer, was once a mighty angel, possibly even the leader of worship in heaven. His pride grew, and he sought to rise above God himself. For this, he was cast down. A simple tale of pride, arrogance, and punishment. Lucifer wanted to be God. End of story. But does that sound too simple to you? When we peek beyond the familiar Bible passages, when we wander into the Apocrypha, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and Gnostic writings, the story grows murkier. We find whispers and fragments that paint Lucifer in a different light. Not simply a villain, but a rebel with, perhaps, a reason. And here's where I want you to pause. If history is always written by the victors, what happens when the so-called loser tells his side? The Gnostics, early Christian mystics whose writings were declared heretical, believed something shocking. They argued that the God of the Old Testament wasn't the true God of light, but a lesser being, a demiurge, who ruled creation with jealousy and control. In that framework, Lucifer isn't the embodiment of ultimate evil. He's the challenger. The one who dares to ask, why must we obey blindly? Why must humanity remain in ignorance? Now I want you to picture this: the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Was it a deceiver or a liberator? Some Gnostic writings hint that Lucifer, or a being like him, was that serpent. By giving Adam and Eve knowledge, he gave humanity the power to think, to question, to choose. So let me ask you directly, if you had been Adam or Eve, and someone offered you the chance to see beyond the rules, would you have taken that fruit? Would you have dared to know? Then comes the Book of Enoch, one of the most controversial ancient writings. It describes the Watchers, angels who descended to earth, fell in love with human women, and taught mankind forbidden knowledge, how to forge weapons, how to understand the stars, how to use magic. For this, they were punished and bound in chains. Later traditions often connected Lucifer to them, merging him into the great rebel who challenged divine order. But here's the real twist: if the Watchers gave humanity tools to advance, was that evil, or was it progress? Think about our modern world. Everything we use, technology, science, knowledge, it all began with someone daring to break a boundary. So, is that truly sin? Or is it the spark of civilization? Now, let's pause together. If heaven was truly perfect, why did rebellion even exist in the first place? Some argue that Lucifer's rebellion was not a mistake, but the natural outcome of free will. If God created beings with the power to choose, then eventually one of them would choose differently. Without that choice, loyalty would mean nothing. Without rebellion, obedience would be meaningless. What do you think? Does that make Lucifer's fall tragic, or necessary? Across world myths, we see this same pattern repeat. Prometheus in Greek mythology steals fire from the gods and gives it to humanity, only to be punished for eternity. Quetzalcoatl in Aztec lore brings wisdom to his people but is betrayed. Enki in Mesopotamian legends disobeys the higher gods to help humanity survive a great flood. In each story, there is a divine rebel, condemned by the powerful, but remembered by humanity as a benefactor. Sound familiar? Do you see the parallel? Even philosophy wrestles with this. John Milton, in Paradise Lost, gave Lucifer a voice that still echoes today: better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself. If you had to choose between absolute obedience in paradise or freedom in exile, which would you pick? Freedom or comfort? Submission or independence? Some modern thinkers argue that Lucifer is less a monster and more a symbol. A symbol of independence, enlightenment, and resistance against blind authority. To them, Lucifer is not a tempter to evil, but a reminder that even the highest power should be questioned. Others disagree, saying that any challenge against God can only ever be arrogance, and arrogance can never be justified. But where do you stand? So, did Lucifer have a just cause? The forbidden texts leave us with no easy answer. In some, he is arrogant and corrupt. In others, he is a liberator punished for daring to question. Maybe the truth lies in the tension between both. Maybe Lucifer's story isn't just about angels and demons, but about us, our eternal struggle between obedience and freedom, between security and knowledge, between the light of order and the fire of rebellion. And maybe that's why his story still fascinates us. Because deep down, each of us faces the same choice: do we submit without question, or do we dare to challenge, even when it costs us everything? Now it's your turn. What do you think? Was Lucifer the ultimate villain or a misunderstood rebel who believed he had a cause? Let me know in the comments. I really want to see what side you lean toward, and why. Share this with someone who loves mysteries, because I'm curious to hear how they'd answer too. And if you want more deep dives into forbidden history, dark myths, and hidden texts, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon, and be part of this journey with me. Until next time, keep questioning, keep seeking, and never be afraid of the truth hiding in the shadows.